We'll now sort of revisit our procurement methods that we discussed. That I only introduced you some basic methods. The procurement system discussion. And now we have a look at those procurement methods again with some enlightened understanding of the various aspects that is related to procurement. Now, as I said, this will be the last session for procurement part of this subject module. So I did not cover, or we actually intended as a program, we did not plan to cover the technical aspects, many technical aspects related to procurement. There are so many things. So for various purposes, we have to know these things. There are certain, especially we have guidelines for procurement in public sector, certain technical documents that we use for procurement. So only just the overview is what we discussed. Of course, if you want to work in procurement itself, it is a good idea you sort of learn these things thoroughly from a certain place where there are certain programs also, and there are resources that you can read uh, and have enough knowledge, appropriate knowledge uh, to work directly in procurement, because this was just to give you um, sort of what do you call it? I would call it wisdom. So wisdom cannot be given actually, right? But say wisdom is needed to take good decisions as project manager. So the whole idea of having this part of lessons is to that, right? However, say wisdom can be induced by showing various ways to look at things, and also say showing you certain knowledge areas that you can use in a certain scenario, because wisdom cannot be given, it cannot be taught, right? It cannot be taught really, but the idea is to give that wisdom by inducing. You have the wisdom, but take it out. That is the thing. So that's why we talk about various different topics. Some may not be directly related if you think of it individually as a topic, but you can now see many things that we talk about as theories, like even economic theories, right? And say some of these ideas of Vinascus, etc. The profit, you saw, right? The value. These ideas were very important in getting a clear understanding. So that clear understanding of the clarity brings the wisdom. However, to practically use that, then you have to know the technical stuff. Okay, so the technical stuff we did not plan to cover here. Of course, it requires more time, and that is another area, and ideally be taught by somebody else if necessary. But for you, we did not consider to be necessary. But is necessary at the MSc level is what we had decided on this. Okay. But however, if you want to become a procurement specialist or somebody advising on procurement to somebody, then you have to have a deep understanding of this. Right. So with that, we'll go through these things to refresh our sort of understanding and also expand it a bit more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the familiar procurement methods and also discuss the expansion of those things, so that you also can think of procurement system designs from a broader perspective, right? So we'll start with this conventional method that we already discussed about, right? Here we are now clear what this method is and how it works, and the advantages of having different parties, the choice for different parties, so that we can say appoint the best for all important aspects that leads to our project success, right? When we say best, remember the best has certain limitations, right? The best, very best may not be affordable, but at the affordable level, the best we can appoint for each important aspect. So these important aspects, you can see the architectural aspects, engineering aspects, costing aspects, right? So that in the team that we consider to be the consultant, right? For all these important things, we can, if we want, separately appoint. Of course, sometimes the client do not do that. Client will appoint a lead consultant. The lead consultant might appoint other parties directly as subcontractors. That is possible, right? But if client so wishes to have preferred parties in as given here, the client can appoint and get them to work together as a team. Okay, so when the builder comes, the client has a choice of appointing the preferred builder. And of course, inside of the construction work also, for some specialist work, client has the option of appointing the preferred subcontractor also, even though the client is not the party directly contracting that, but client can have that choice under this contract. So therefore, these good features are there, and that is the reason many would prefer this, comparative to the other popular option, which is called the design and build option. Okay. Now here we also say may have some certain concerns. Say, for example, because of this arrangement, we have to wait until the design is completed to appoint the main contractor, then get the work done through them, so that it will require more time because we have finished the design to a good level, then appoint the main contractor mobilizes and start working and complete the work. So it will need more time compared to our design and build arrangement, where design and build contractor will start working when the initial design work is done, while the balance is still continuing. The design and build contractor can start working inside, so overall time duration can be reduced. Okay, and the other thing is the contractor or the builder is not there during the early design stage, so that say the builder's contribution to the design is lost. Builders can contribute to the design not as designers, but to improve certain aspects, especially the speed of construction, because certain designs, if you change a little, it might improve the speed of construction. So, for example, the contractor or the builder would have a certain system formwork, right? So this system formwork require certain grid size. Otherwise, that cannot be used. Just assume. Right. So if the design is not done to that grid size, then that benefit cannot be taken. But if the builder is there to tell the design team, if you change your grid size to this, then I can use my system formwork. Then we can complete one level, maybe a week, within a week, and go to the next level. Right. So significant speed improvement can be achieved. And that benefit is not there if the contractor or the builder is not there at the early stage. And also certain other aspects, we call that buildability or constructability. That is the ease of construction, relative ease of construction. So if it is improved, it can benefit in terms of price of the cost and also the speed. So these things may not be there, and also the technological aspects, various technological aspects, safety aspects of construction. Many things can be contributed if the contractor is there. When the contractor is not there, it is not possible. And that benefit, that lost benefit is, of course, there in design and build, because in design and build, the build is there when the design begins. So the builder's contribution is there, right? And the other thing here is that the main contractor, right, the builder, even though we consider it to be the best one, the more preferred one, or the most suitable one, maybe the contractor is good in project management or construction management, but may not be the best builder, right? Or sometimes it may there may be a best, when I say best builder, in terms of construction quality, right? Or maybe in terms of pricing also, may not be the best, but probably the best manager. They are very good in managing construction projects and delivery of projects on time, right? They have a good construction management team, but that benefit cannot be taken if the other part, maybe the pricing or maybe the quality of finishes or something is not to the standard. So given that scenario, we can take out the management role of the main contractor and come up with an alternative design to the conventional method, right? Where we talk about a procurement method named management contracting. So it's the same structure of organization, I mean temporary organization, but instead of this main contractor, we have the management contractor, right? And this management contractor only do the management and of course the facilitation, like site requirements, site facilities, etc., are looked after by this management contractor. All the work are carried out by subcontractors, which are also known as package contractors, right? Now what happens here is that the management contractor enters into a contract with the client under a cost reimbursement agreement. So the management contractor receives a fee and reimburse the costs of the subcontractors, right? So because of that, the management contractor can be appointed at very early stage, because it is a cost reimbursement contract, cost-based contract, right? So during the design stage, the management contractor can be appointed. So only requirement is there has to be enough information for management contractor to offer a reasonable fee for the project. That is the scope of the project, size of the project, type of the project. That kind of information is needed for the management contractor to offer a fee or agree for a fee. When that information is available, the management contractor can be appointed. So it's at very early stage, right? And at that agreement, what is agreed is the work to be carried out, all the works to be carried out by subcontractors, and subcontractor bills that are paid by the management contractor is reimbursed by the client, right? So the management contractor under this contract take the full responsibility. He takes the full responsibility of the construction, the building, right? To manage and also to assure quality standards, etc. Okay. Then the works are done by subcontractors. So the under this contract, even for the subcontractors' work, the management contractor is responsible to the client. So it is same like the conventional method. As the main contractor responsible for his own work, his subcontractors' work, including the nominated subcontractors, right? And when the design is done to a good extent, where say loading can be calculated and according to the site work can be started, the foundation can be started, while others are still continue to be designed, right? That foundation details or site works detail, we say site works plus foundation details can be completed, design can be completed, and BOQ can be prepared for that. And for that, we can call for tenders. Call for tenders for subcontract. So the main contractor calls for tenders for subcontract, right? So then from these bids coming for subcontract to the main contractor, the best would be selected, and client will also get involved in this selection, because client will select a party acceptable for the client and mostly beneficial for the client. That means price wise. But if the lowest price bidder is not a good party to be contracted with, the main management contractor will give those information and might reject. So both parties together therefore appoint them. But say if the main management contractor does not have a reason to reject somebody, then the lowest bid would be appointed, because that is the most beneficial price for the client, because client will reimburse that cost. Whatever the main contractor pays to the subcontractor, client will have to reimburse to the main contractor. So if this price is higher, client will be paying higher. So client will prefer the lowest price. So they will go for the lowest. And this one is done while the other parts are still being designed. And this work can start. Then the next work, when the next work is completed, then the same can happen. Likewise, for each different work, the package contractors are selected or subcontractors are selected, and the work is done. You can see it is faster, and of course, say in terms of cost, also quite effective, because for each and every work package, client is assured of getting the best price from the market for each and every work package. Right? But it's not like that for the whole project, the client will get the best price in the market. Now, for each and every work package, client is getting the best price in the market. You can see this is simply a modification to the conventional method, or the traditional method, which has more benefits and addresses some of the issues that we had. Now it reduces the time period, it gets the contractor's experience into the design elements, design part of it, and also optimize for the price. You can see cost reimbursement contract, the practical use of cost reimbursement contract, and it's quite effective, right? It's very clear how much to be reimbursed, because the payment is made under subcontracts. Very clear. It's not like paying each and every labor's cost, material cost, plant hiring cost separately. This is not part of that now. It is under BOQ, the payment is made, but it is a cost reimbursement contract, because what client does is cost reimbursement. That is paid of the price that is paid under this contract, which is a regular bills of quantities based contract. It can be bills of firm quantities contracts also, because the design can be fully completed. Of course, because these small contractors do not have that level of risk absorption capacity, they may go with bills of approximate quantities, but even firm quantities contract is possible. Right. So an alternative model is construction management. Here, construction manager is managing similar, right? As a structure, it is similar, managing the whole project under this contract, right? However, package contractors are directly contracted to the client. So they are responsible directly to the client for their part of the work. So in a way, the construction manager, now the managing contractor who is in the other method here, management contractor, takes a total risk. In this case, it is only a risk level to professional service level. Right. So it's level of construction management. So that is so. So what is payment here is not a cost reimbursement contract, it is a fee-based contract. Right. So you can see these are also fee-based contracts. Right. It's a fee-based contract, construction manager. Only the management fee is paid. And the subcontractors are not there. They are actually package contractors directly contracted to the client, and they are paid directly by the client. See? So similarly, if you compare this with the design and build method, okay. Now, design and build contractor, we can make the design and manage contractor. Right. Design and manage contractor. So that all the work is done by others as subcontractors, design consultants, etc. So client can go with a cost reimbursement contract also here, if needed. Right. Then the client will have greater flexibility, because in a cost reimbursement contract, client can have a greater flexibility to change many of the things, including the parties. So by changing certain things in non-procurement system designs that we know as procurement methods, right, we can get certain things adjusted, certain advantages you can get actually. Along with that, there can be certain other disadvantages also coming. Right. So no method is perfect. I mean, no method is perfectly fitting for any scenario. So depending on the scenario, you make these tweaks. Right. And come up with the most appropriate solution for your procurement requirement. Right. And the other things are like, by going with the cost reimbursement type of a contract, you can see you can minimize the chances of winner's curse. It is possible. Right. And if you make the cost reimbursement contract into a bit more rigorous one, like target cost or GMP type of a contract, then you can influence to minimize the moral hazard. So all these different things that we talk about can be linked if you think carefully. That is what we expect. Right? When we practically trying to understand, trying to take a decision, trying to make some changes to the system. So bring those things together and try to understand. Okay. And when we talk about design and build contractors, of course, there are pure design and build companies where they have all different important expertise in-house. Right? There are pure design and build companies, so they take the full responsibility. However, In some cases, there can be fragmented design and build components. That is, say, remember, we usually go for design and build, we usually go with the builder as the main contractor because of the financial risk, the level of financial risk. So if a builder appoints all the design consultants from outside, so it is a fragmented design and build. But there are some companies which we can consider integrated. They have, say, especially they have the QS aspects in-house and some engineering aspects. Maybe certain things may not be there because, say, keeping in-house staff in certain specialization is not, say, cost effective, because they may be idling in certain times if you don't have enough work. Therefore, organizations may not keep some staff permanently in-house. However, some may be there. So maybe costing experts, structural experts may be there. But whenever the project comes, they might hire from external an architect and maybe 2-3 engineers. I mean, 2-3 engineering firms to various different aspects. So part of them are there, right? So these types of different organizations you can find, and say when they are pure design and build firm, then you have clear idea of what they are, what they are capable of. But when they are fragmented, of course, that is not the case. Even though you know that this is a good architect, this is a good engineer, this is a good builder, this is a good QS, etc. You don't know when they are working together how well they will work. Right? So the risk of fragmented design and build firm is that. So when you are taking a decision, these are things that you can consider. And there are few variants in design and build option. Novated design and build is one option that you can have, one variant that you can have. That is, in this method, what we do is we first get an architect, or you can say designers, to do the initial design. So based on this initial design and the performance specifications, bidders submit their bids. Right? So now they have the basic design. Right? For using that basic design, all the bidders submit their bids for the same design. Okay. Out of these bids, we select one and award the contract. So when we award the contract, we also novate our contract with the design team that we had already appointed to the contractor, design and build contractor. So design and build contractor agrees to continue with the same designers. They are not complete, right? It may be only an architect sometimes. Right? So continue with that architect as the architect for the project under the agreement. And architect should have also agreed with the client that the architect will be novated to the selected design and build contract. Right. So in that way, you can select the preferred architect, for example, and get the initial design also done for your satisfaction. Then with that, this initial design and also the performance specification can go for a design and build contract. Right. Package deal is also there. It is also a design build contract where the design and build contractors, they already have pre-designed buildings. I mean, they are not built, but like those house builders, there are, I think, oldest is Vajra Housing, Vajra Builders. There are many. They have their own designs. Of course, these designs are kind of optimized to be cost efficient also. So you can select these designs and they build that design on your land for that agreed price. So those are package deals. So package deals are there for such housing construction. Of course, in housing also you can see the packages are not like full house design sometimes. It can be, say, we have basic house designs. Then for that house designs, we have separate few options for the kitchen design, for the bathroom design, likewise. So you can see like packages. Okay, this house design with this kitchen package and that bathroom package. That sort of a choice. Now the thing is, now it is very fast in terms of design because design is already done. So immediately the next step can be taken, that is the construction. And client also has good information to take the decision. Sometimes they have 3D models, 3D walkthroughs, and all these things give a better feeling about their buildings. And this is also done in steel construction sector, like warehouse construction, etc. They have their standard frames with the clear span. Then for that clear spans for your length, they will put up the warehouse. You have to select from the whatever the clear spans they have. Okay, there's another thing called turnkey. So the whole idea of turnkey is that say the contractor will give the key to the client will turn the key, open the door, then start working in that building. Right. So that is the original idea. Now the turnkey word is used for various other scenarios, especially in the public sector. I have seen to make them look special for something. I don't know. So they use it for various different scenarios. But the whole idea is that the turnkey, I think that is also the same in government sector. The client's involvement is minimized. Right? And the contractor looks after all important aspects of the project. Then there is develop and construct variant of design and build method here. The client provides a design. It's not innovation of the architect. There is a design, concept design done, and that concept design is given as the client's say preference for the design, but need not to be as a professional design. But similar in a manner that the balance part, like proposed specification is specified there. The client can't specify the shape of the building nicely and the looks of the building, etc. So that part the client can include into a design, and based on that concept design, the bidders will give their offers. Then the winner will take that concept design and develop and construct it. Develop the design and construct it, taking the full design responsibility. Right? So the client is not responsible for the design. It's the design and build contractor still responsible for the design, but client has provided the design. This should be understood as a representation of client's expectation or client's requirements. Okay. So in terms of procurement structures we might use, we also can have what is called design and manage. Contractor managing the design and construction. So that is that I presented here. Sorry, I repeated that. However, in design and manage, we can have two different variants, like in the management, contracting, and construction management, right? So design and manage, the same thing, right? Same idea. I have just reduced the number of parties. All these parties will become subcontractors. Okay, so that is what I have presented here. I'm focusing on something else. So here, design. Design and manage. The contractor managing the design and construction, everything, and is responsible for the construction, right? So therefore, this main contractor should have enough financial capacity to take that large risk of finance. Okay, but if the alternative is that design and manage contractor, design and constructing, but will be managing the package contractors appointed by the client. Okay, here you can see the contract. This party is therefore only paid a fee for that aspect, that is designing and managing, construction management, right? So sometimes design and manage contractor would say have in-house designer, sometimes might subcontract, that won't matter. But even for certain design parties, even the client can get into contracts with them and pay it, so that the value of this contract is not very high. It is simple fee-based contract, and therefore the risk of financial risk to the design and manage contract is not high, and need not to be a big build or somebody to become that contract. Okay, so the idea is that there are small adjustments that you can do for each and every procurement system design to improve our requirements, right? Right. So we'll move to some discussion time since it is the last day. And of course, Samarsingh has a question. Yes, Samarsingh.
So in this variant 2, do we call package contractors as subcontractors?
No, they are not. Did I use the word subcontractor? They are not subcontractors.
No, sir.
They are contractors to the client. Everybody here are contractors to the client. In this case, they are subcontractors. But the work they do are same. To whom they are contracted are different, and the functional relationships are same. Functional relationship is with the design and manage contract. They are working with the design and manage contract, but having a contract with the client. Yes, thanks. Any other comments, or of course, any other questions from other areas also? I have to conclude about 5 minutes early, so we have about 9 minutes. Any questions? Anything? Nothing. No questions? Right. So in that case, if I sort of highlight the points, the idea of procurement. So procurement, we have to understand is the big picture, and especially when you're talking about procurement in construction, we are inside of it, of course. Even though it is a subject inside of project management also inside procurement. To that extent, the procurement is broader. However, procurement is to be considered at various different levels, because it happens at different levels. So contractor level it happens, subcontractor levels it happens, right? So when they are acquiring goods, services, or works, procurement is there. And when I was discussing procurement, I generally considered the bigger picture, that is from the client's point of view, right? client's point of view. However, this knowledge you can apply to other levels, any level, because I only gave you the sort of ideas, principles, etc. only, where you have to combine those with the techniques of it. Okay. And as we can understand that, of course, of the nature that is, it covers everything. So all different subjects that we talk about in construction are relevant to procurement in some way. Technology is relevant, law is relevant, um, say management is relevant, economics is relevant, right? So all these different subjects that are relevant to construction are relevant to construction procurement also. Okay, so I did not go into all different subjects, but I in a way showed you that various different things are actually connected and gave you some idea how to think of them and how to see how they connect, right? So that is important thing. So my expectation is actually, as I said, to give you or induce wisdom in you for procurement. Not primarily as project managers, but in general also. For that, I showed you various different, of course, some knowledge areas that we should be uh, familiar with, like the idea of system, different procurement methods. I discussed with you contracts. I discussed with you, which are quite important areas. However, when I even contracts, I introduced you as uh, sort of models, but I did not go into particular contract documents that we use for these purposes, right? So what documents to be used, etc., are for you to figure out. Okay, what conditions to be used, what clauses to be amended, all these things you can figure out, right? If you understand these things. So the idea is that, right, to induce your wisdom. Now, you must not stop here. This is just a start, because it is about how you think of the things, right? How you visualize the things, and spend little time whenever possible to read some theoretical stuff also. Not in research papers or anything, just Wikipedia is a good place, because what you need is some basic understanding and connecting the things. That is very important. So try to connect the knowledge, different types of knowledge. Right? It's not that you connect technology to technology. Right? Connect technology to economics, to management. How you connect? What theories are there? So some basic theories are very important, very useful, because they give certain scientific explanation that helps us understand how it works. And it also gives us certain sort of edge to justify our project management decisions. Rather than just saying we took this decision, if you can say because of these things, this has been shown that it happens like this, and considering that we took this decision, it's more stronger, and it will help you in your professional career also, because it safeguards your professional action. Okay, so knowledge is power. It's not me who is saying that. You could have heard this many times, right? So knowing is not enough. You have to have the wisdom to use that also. That is also somebody has mentioned, right? knowing that a tomato is a fruit is knowledge. And wisdom is not to put it in the fruit salad. Okay, so that's why knowing is important. At the same time, right, connecting them and make sense of its practicality and link into your experience, your understanding, your observation, and probably talking to others and trying to get their views also and make good sense about what you are doing as a project manager, because you will be responsible for millions and billions of money. Your mistakes might lead to losses. So when you take decisions, you have to take good decisions. Right. These are important. So that's why we had it like this. Right. Hope you got that message. And with that, I will conclude the session from me today. Right. It was good to have this experience with you. In a way, having it online was in a way good because we needed only 5 minutes break every day. Otherwise, if it is at university, you usually take about 30 minutes to come back. Right. So that time is also saved. So I could discuss more things. I mean, elaborate or discuss things deeper because of that. However, that is good thing, but it's kind of lazy to do the lecture here alone. Especially say you engage a bit, but engagement would have been quite a lot more if it had been done physically at the university. Anyway, that's how we had planned and currently implemented. So we will be happy with what we have. Okay then. Right, shall we conclude then? Any last comments?
Sir, notes you will be sending, no, sir?
Yes, only the last note is not there. The other notes are there in Moodle, right?
Okay, sir.
This last part is not there. Even the first half is there already. This one last part I will include. The notes means my lecture slides are there. That's what.
Okay.
That's those are good enough if you had followed the lectures.
Yes.
Okay then.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. Okay then. Wish you all the best for next time, which will come a little later after the next part of the lectures. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Right. See you all.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be doing another subject later. Okay. With you. See you then.
Thank you, sir.